Name of one God, Father, Son. Thank you for praying with me. Thank you for biting into the scripture with me. Thank you to those online who are listening with us on this virtual tightrope of hope as we remind ourselves. The book of nature tells me what I'm made of. The book of scripture tells me what I'm made for. And I'm grateful for today's scripture because it reminds me that there's hope for even me. Jacob. Ha! Jacob ran away. Jacob stole the blessing that should have been given to his brother Esau, the firstborn, and he bought his brother Esau's inheritance. He runs away from his family. He served his uncle Laban for almost 14 years in order to what? To get two brides. One of them he really wasn't interested in. And now Jacob has a desire, a longing, an aching to go home. At this moment he's at the Jabbok. This road that leads back to home, be it our geographical home, be it coming home to yourself, always, I think, takes us past these Jabbok River crossing points. Where in your life, where in my life, where in our lives have we each had our own Jabbok that we have had to cross? Maybe I've been slight. His wives, his maids, his sons, go ahead of me, cunning as ever, sends emissaries and gifts. Maybe Esau will forget that I stole his birthright. Esau is standing there with 400 soldiers, aching for revenge. Jacob is out of options. Esau is in front of him. The lies, the deception, the stolen blessings, the house that abandoned all by himself on the banks of the Jabbok. A night of conflict and struggle. And so he wrestles. I don't know with whom. Was it God? Was it a manifestation of Esau? Was it his mind? Was it his deep consciousness? Was it him? Is it possible that it was his uncle Laban? Is it Isaac, his father? Is he trying to come to terms with the past, his future, his name, his religion, his journey? And so during the night of the wrestling, how interesting, he sustains injuries and blessings. How wonderful that blessings and scars appear to be inextricably linked to one another at all times. This Jacob, heel grabber, he does not let go of this man that he wrestles with to receive a genuine blessing. Not one that had been taken from him, but one that would allow the promises of this divine being, this God, to allow Jacob's life to transform. How wonderful when dawn arrives, Jacob is no longer Jacob. He's not a cheater anymore. The one who supplanted his brother. He gets a new name, a rebirth, a reborn. How wonderful. Jacob doesn't beat this man. He prevails. He does not give up the fight until the dawn. And he claims his blessing. Where in your life, in my life, has this Jabbok moment taken place, friends? Where have we battled Whether it's addiction, whether it's pain, whether it's sorrow, whether it's loss, those nights of tossing, turning, attempting to figure out what next steps to take, restoring trust. In the steadfastness, maybe even of the ordinary day-to-day activities of life. A week, a year, a lifetime, where you almost never see the fruits of your labor. I think there are thousands of different ways in which one can experience Jabbok. This is the evening, the day of our life when we are coming home. A location at which we perhaps receive wounds but new blessings. We are transformed in pain. That wonderful, what is my pain teaching me moments. Sacred sights. Interesting. It's renamed Peniel, which means the place where we see God in our life is protected. What has been your experience with your wrestling at a Jabbok? Able to name the wounds, I think. We have suffered there very quickly, and we can describe how I now walk with a limp as a result. I think it's difficult to see and trust the existence of a blessing when one has been through the ordeal of a struggle, as well as the agony of being injured. No matter what you do, though, how wonderful, no matter what we do, we must not let go. A new day is beginning. And with it comes a blessing that I think is intended for you, for me, for us. And that would be wonderful for me. Give me overflowing lattes and a hot tub any day. I want my beach chair at Main Beach and have nothing but orange smoothies from Origin down the line. A land of milk and honey. But how even more wonderful that scripture today, I think, indicates that God is dependable. How wonderful to have, yes, an immaterial being that sits outside of time and space and is the ultimate expression of love. But if I think in terms of maybe even the properties of water, to even understand and wrap my consciousness around this being of God, water in all its properties, everywhere, always there, how wonderful that this being is that dependable. When last can I say in my life someone has been dependable? It indicates that we, in this dependability in God, I think, we can proceed. We are granted a blessing, given a new name, transformed into a new person, like last week's 1 out of 10 lepers. And now, you are free to cross over to home, be it their geographical home or be it coming home to you. I know what it feels like to want to go home. It's true, huh? There's no place like home. Home is the best place to be. And so how wonderful that today's scripture for us, our signposts are go. How wonderful that the widow reminds me of that today. Woo! Don't let go. How long? She keeps praying. I don't know, but that waiting doesn't mean that God is there, for me at least. God always at work, even when I'm waiting. And it strikes me that God is not what the widow waits for. She waits by God's side. She doesn't lose hope. And a real story of not losing hope? Oh, wonderful elder in our community passed away Thursday morning. Our beloved Pat. Only deep prayer would make you go home during the war and dropping of bombs as a child in London to go find out how your dog is doing. Just saying. Only a journey of being willing to wait in prayer through time and space. Does that life convey a deep love to every single person that she encounters? Those noisy buggers. Why do they call it murder of crows? Yet this Christian, this elder, this Pat Harris, stays and reminds us how we are interconnected in reality, in creation, and the power of prayer and patience. She doesn't lose hope, like the widow in today's scripture, because she's always in prayer. It keeps her coming back day after day, trusting that God sees, God hears, and God does and touches something. Prayer keeps us, I believe, in touch with this immaterial being, this God in thoughts, in words, in action, so that when God acts, we will be there. Think about how sad it would have been if the widow gave up one day. She couldn't take another day crying out, pointing out how unfair her life was, keeping her pain hidden from everyone, so she stops. I think living the widow's faith may be some of the hardest but most important things we do on our journey of faith. That's why we songs. Thank you, choir. Thank you, Bob, for our songs. Because it is in that waiting period, the not yet now, but anyhow moments, that we keep coming back. And we don't let go. And how even this cranky judge, she keeps bothering me. Even he. We have been given the widow's life and faith. We share our life and faith together. Every time we share a story, how wonderful that in our own way reminds each of us, don't let go. Even when we are ready.